Okay, let's take a look at your run as you were coming back from your warm-up. I asked you to run out and back on the trail. And the thing that we spoke about, I wanted you to see visually. You can see how your upper body swings to the left and the right. You can see how your hands are coming up really high. And this costs you a lot in the way of economy and efficiency. We talked about your feet as well. You can see how your entire foot is hitting the ground. Now, as you run away from the camera, I want you to notice how your foot does not come up very high. Now, as we discussed, I know it's because you're afraid the hamstring is going to pop at any given time, but I want you to see what this is doing to your running style by having tight hamstrings and hips. Now, this is where I asked you to go out and run at what you called your race effort. And what I want you to understand is the faster we go, the worse our economy gets when our biomechanics are bad. I don't mean to use a bunch of big words, but think about it. If your efficiency is off, the faster you run, the worse it gets, which means you're going to fatigue even quicker, and it's going to have a negative effect on both your speed and your endurance. When you come back towards the camera here, notice how much higher you bring your arms and your hands. Okay, this is because you're running quicker. What ends up happening is the inertia takes over and your hands are going to come up progressively higher. You go, so what's the big deal with that? Well, your shoulders, your back, they have to do the work to bring everything back to a normal place. It takes a lot of energy. What I want you to think about now as we go into this next segment is I took as you ran by me and put it into slow motion. We talked about your vertical oscillation, your movement up and down. As you get just past the screen, you're going to notice that you do not have a lot of up and down movement, but do look at your arms and look at how much your arms cross past your abdomen. Your belly button is kind of our center line. You can see your left hand come all the way across. Look at your right arm go all the way across your center line. Now as your feet come into view, what I want you to notice is that you're landing completely flat-footed, all right? And we want to try to get that to where it's not so exaggerated. Now this is where I ask you to go out and run with your heels kind of over-exaggerated, trying to bring your heels up. And what I want you to notice as you come back towards the screen is you're going to notice that your feet do not stay in contact with the ground nearly as long as when your ankles were not coming up very high in the back. This is what we call the recovery phase of your run stride. Okay? Now, I know you and I fixed it at the end there, but see how your arms are crossing your abdomen again? Remember I said I want you to grab that rope and pull it forward. So the two things I want you to focus on is just trying to get your flexibility up, get on that midfoot, and try to keep those hands from crossing your center line.